Welcome to the Say Network podcast. I am Jim Sparks, and I am by myself today, which makes me incredibly sad. However, I'm not completely by myself. We have a fun episode today. I get to hang out with Jackie Raihl. I even wrote it Jackie.
You're the only person who calls me Jacqueline, other than my sister.
I will tell you, it's a name that I very much love, and it's hard for me to get around that because I know that that's your actual name. Anyway, Jackie is our very own orange specialist, which means she is our orange rep. And if you have questions about orange Sunday school material, she is our person. And we'll get into that more. But first, youth culture talk. We always have something for youth culture. And quarantine has been very, very strange, obviously, for all of us. We've had to change a lot of things. But there's always cool things that come out of like weird tragedies and I don't know, turmoil and all that stuff. And one has been, my kids like to read. They all like to read, strangely, all three of them. And I did not grow up liking to read, so it's kind of fun that they do. But one cool thing is some of their favorite authors are doing read-alongs on Twitter and or YouTube. And so Lauren Tarshis is one of my son's favorite ones. And do you know Jackie, an avid reader? I'd be very impressed if you knew who Lauren Tarshis is.
And I'm
because
really
this is
sad.
out of your target zone. She writes a book called I Survived series. And what she does is take real events and then puts fictional characters in. And so like they have, I don't know, Pompeii, the Titanic, and I think they even have like a 9/11 one or something. And yeah, it's fascinating. My kids love it. But she's been incredibly interactive. And so early on, when we started this quarantine, my youngest, who is 8 years old, he's like, what if she wrote a coronavirus one?
All right.
And I thought, oh, that's really cool. I go, well, because of Twitter. I don't know if she's active on Twitter or not. And so I said, let's send a video message. And we did. And she responded. And she did. And she said, Beckett, why don't you start taking notes and you could write your own? Which, I mean, to be honest, she should be writing it. She's punting it off on an 8-year-old, but
she's outsourcing.
That's true. But she's been doing read-alongs on there, and she's not alone. There's a bunch of authors doing read-alongs for kids, and what an incredible way to connect with their audience. And I like to believe that some of these kids will be inspired to write their own stuff out of this. And I noticed that several people have done that now, and that's the advice that she keeps giving is for them to take notes and write themselves. So,
yes,
Jackie, which author, your avid reader, would love to have connected with as a kid and then as an adult?
Ooh, okay, that's hard. As a kid, it would have been R.L. Stine, because those books were the creepiest things I've ever read in my life, but I loved them.
I have no idea who R.L. Stine is.
R.L. Stine?
No, sorry.
No,
Nope.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, I've heard of Goosebumps. I've never read it.
This is now your homework. You're going to buy every Goosebumps book. Your boys would love them. But yeah, I loved Goosebumps.
Oh, no. I bet you there is some in this room that I'm in
That's
right now.
After this is done, you just sit and read for a little bit. Think about your life, clearly. But as an adult, it's whatever. Everyone knows. I love Jane Austen. Granted, she's dead. I get that. But still.
That's going to be hard to talk to her.
I really joined Twitter because there was someone who jokes about things as Jane Austen, and I think it's funny. And I realize that is the worst reason to join Twitter, but I am who I am.
Now, what level of Jane Austen fan are you? Are you like, I'll dress up and go to festivals,
I'm not
Jane
saying
Austen
that
fan?
I went to the city of Bath and went to the Jane Austen Center, but that's the whole reason that I went to that city. There are themed candles, there are prints in my house, I have multiple copies of books.
But have you dressed up?
I don't want to say yes, but yes, I have.
All right. I know that Jane Austen fans are very devoted.
I'm not like a weirdo about
period.
it. Let's be honest.
No,
I'm like a normal level fan.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. I actually went to the city of Bath. I had no idea that Jane Austen had anything to do
She
with
lived
that
there
city.
for a little bit. Okay, now I'm realizing the nerd is coming
all right.
out. Now I get it, but still.
No, that's fine. I couldn't understand the city of Bath. I was like, there's community baths.
I don't ask questions.
It was hard to comprehend for me. Yeah, I did go to Shakespeare's house.
There you go.
And the only thing I came away with that is that he was not tall, because I had a very, very much duck to get through every doorway in his. But anyway, that's we are diverting. So yeah, I think it's really cool that in this time period that kids could connect with people that they admire and they love, and I think it also kind of shows the importance of it doesn't take much to connect with kids and connect with them, and just shows that they care. And these authors clearly show that they care, and they're not charging them anything or anything like that, but reaching out, and it's a really, really big deal. Really cool for that. Thank you, Lauren Tarshish, if I say your last name correctly. I can't say it with just straight lips.
I appreciate that you have to add like a little shush to it. It's good.
Well, just in case. So, all right, so let's get into it. So first off, tell us what orange means, and yeah, let's just start with there. What does orange mean?
Sure. So the main kind of boiling down to orange, because it's a little bit complicated sometimes, but it's really the light of the home and the heart of the church, yellow and red coming together to make orange. We believe that we want to have the best positive influence on the spiritual life of a child. And you can't really just do it just from the home, and you can't really do it just from church. It's when we combine those resources together and combine that impact, that's when we really cause change.
Nice. And so what does Orange do?
We create resources for the church to use to champion the local church, to really champion parents. We try to make sure that everyone has what they need to not only have a great Sunday experience, but to make sure that the lessons that kids are learning are actually being reinforced throughout the week. So we don't want to just be something that happens on Sunday. We want to make an influence and impact the rest of the week.
And so how do you do that? So how do you make an impact the rest of the week?
I think the best thing we do is something called Parent Cue. It's something that's a part of the curriculum, and it's also an app for parents that is completely free for iOS and for Android. The app has the videos that are shown on Sunday, and then just gives little cues for parents throughout the week to say this at bedtime, at mealtime, at drive time, little ways to reinforce, little things to say to them. This is the scripture. Say it at mealtime, say this prayer before bed. But it's kind of prompting parents on how they can make sure that lesson doesn't just stay on a Sunday, but that the whole family is working towards it throughout the week.
Awesome. And so, and those will always correspond with the current week's
yeah, so there's a
right?
printed version that as a core you can print it off. These are even things that even if you don't have the lesson, if you have a pantry where people come in to pick up resources, you can have stacks of the Parent Cue there. And it's just a little mini lesson almost for parents at home.
Cool. And so the age group has expanded. Is that right? Because of the Salvation Army?
Yes, we are first and foremost a children's curriculum company. Preteen, elementary, preschool, middle school, high school, and then Live a Better Story is our adult curriculum content.
Mm-hmm. And give us the name of the breakdowns for each one, because they all have their own name.
So preschool is First Look. Elementary is 252 Kids and Preteens. XP3 has a middle and high school version. And then again, adults is Live a Better Story.
Nice. And what is your favorite age
middle
group
school.
to teach?
I'm actually middle school small group leader. So those are my people.
Why middle school?
Life is weird and awkward for them. And I just love that they kind of meet it heads on. And they're just trying to figure out who they are, and everything is kind of new and different for them. And I love to come alongside the girls that I work with and just help them discover who they are. Yeah,
middle school is a weird group. It's and weird, we say it affectionately,
of course.
Right? But you never know what you're going to get. It could be a very, very happy, joyful person one week, and then the next week it could be completely emo.
That's what makes it fun.
Black
Who
nails.
knows who's going to show in that door? I don't know.
Yeah, it is kind of my favorite age group as well, because you could kind of hang out with them, but they're still kids. You know, they could like you could have kind of this weird balance of being able to poke fun at each other, but not it's still kid friendly. Like it's not. I don't know. Sometimes with high schoolers, if you start kind of goofing off and stuff, then they get real bent out of shape.
And middle school is like introducing sarcasm, so it makes me feel better that they kind of sort of get my jokes, and like I'm still like the cool person. Okay, yeah. So I like it.
So you said you're a small group leader. What is that? How many girls do you hang out with? What's a small group for you?
We have 13. So that is a small group, but it depends on the week. Sometimes everyone comes, sometimes only a few. There have been Sundays where it's only been 2 girls, and we've gotten to really get to know each other and get really personal. And sometimes it's just, we don't even do the actual lesson that's on the paper. I just ask them how their week was and kind of go through their lives and see what's happening.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I hang out with the middle schoolers. It is weird though. My son is in middle school, so it does change things a little bit when your son's in the group.
I would not recommend being your child's small group leader.
I might need to find a replacement for that. Mostly for his benefit. It's certainly not for mine. So tell us, Orange is more than just curriculum. You guys also put on conferences. We have our main Orange conference, which happens usually every end of April. We have 8,000 people that come out to Georgia, and we just have fun as a group of youth leaders and try to learn more and brainstorm ideas. And then in the fall, we have something called Orange Tour, where we go to about 15 to 20 cities and just put on a mini conference of 1 or 2 days of trying to give as much information and, again, brainstorming as possible. Yeah, and so those cities rotate every year, or do you guys go to the same cities?
A few are core consistent, but every once in a while we do try to branch out and see where's a location that is having a lot of need for us to come. So there's only usually a couple West Coast locations, but I know we are trying to get more on there.
Nice. Tell us about the Mothership Conference, as I'll affectionately call it, because you have so many more people that will go to that, and it's been going on for quite a while as well.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years, yeah. And so, what's going on this year? Because obviously, it is not normal that we're living in. Right. So tell us what's going on with the main conference this year. I think that should be
the theme of this year. Is actually not normal. But this year, we are going to move everything to be 100% digital. So it's still going to be a 3-day conference, but it will be all online. We'll have 3 live main sessions, 8 live breakouts with OSs working together to kind of answer your questions in real time. And then we'll have over 50 breakouts available in a library, and that you can go to any breakout that you want. So normally at conference, at most, you can go to 4 breakouts. Here on the online conference, you're going to have up to 50 different breakouts that you can attend. And those breakouts are actually going to be available for the entire year. So you don't have to binge for 3 days and get as many breakouts as you can. You can actually go through all 50 breakouts over the course of a year.
Oh, that's awesome. And if we didn't register for the conference, can we still register for this?
Absolutely. Please. Actually, if you are interested in going to Orange Conference, I recommend emailing either myself or Ben Nunes. Our emails are really easy, Jackie@thinkorange.com and Ben@thinkorange.com, and we would love to help you register.
Yeah. Nice. Who are the main speakers?
Oh, good Lord. We have like 30 of them. There's a lot.
Well, just give us like five that you're looking forward to the most.
Reggie Joyner, of course, our CEO, always has amazing things. Kristen Ivy does a lot of the parenting aspects of it. Simon Sinek is coming this year, and he has a lot of knowledge on millennial culture. Exactly, as a millennial, I should say. Millennial culture. Who else is coming? Kara Powell, of course. Everyone knows my love and affection for Kara Powell and her absolute brilliance. Who else is coming? Ryan Leake, literally one of my favorite speakers ever. He comes to conference I think it's almost every other year, and he always says something that completely stops me in my tracks.
Sweet. So, we'll give the information to sign up in the notes on here, and and advertise it through our social media again. So cool. Thanks. So with quarantine and you're at your home studio right now, as we'll call it that. Every once in a while I can hear a bird chirp. I love it. And how has your organization, how has Orange had to pivot during this time?
For lack of a better term, it's been a little insane. We write over 1 million words a month just as a curriculum team. And now we're not changing what we do, but we're changing kind of where it's at. So we've put resources together to have a video and some parent aspects of our resources available to anyone and everyone, not just our partners right now. We actually have at orangekidman.com and at orangestudents.com digital resource guides for how youth leaders can put our resources on their social media to get out to as many people as possible. We just want to make sure, if you want to have resources for your people, that they're readily available to you in the easiest form. We know technology is not everyone's, forte. It's not mine either. So again, we try to make it at least a clickable link so you can just go straight to one section and get what you need.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And do you think this is going to be changing the future?
Absolutely.
Of Orange?
I think it actually just clarifies our message even more. It's actually really good timing. We just had a staff meeting not even an hour ago where we kind of clarified who we are as a company. And we do that every couple of months, to be honest, just kind of redefine who we are and what we're doing. As much as we want to resource the local church, and that is our one of our goals and missions, we really want to highlight parents. They have so much influence in a child's life. Usually a church has about 40 hours, sometimes a little bit more if we have other weekly programs, but parents have 3,000 hours, and we have to leverage that. We have to use that influence. We as a church can only go so far without partnering with them. So really this has just showed us how can we really partner with parents in the best way possible. Even if we put out online resources, it's the parents who are bringing kids to the computer to look them up. It's the parents who are guiding them there. And if we don't have a good partnership with the parents don't trust churches, they're not going to use the resources we have available to them.
Yeah, and that is a struggle. Like during this quarantine time, especially, is we're trying to get stuff to kids, but we have to go through the parents. Like we can't just, I don't know, text kids individually and that kind of stuff. It gets creepy. And so you're right. The parents are instrumental. How would you suggest us to get started with a relationship with parent to get them to start using this material that you
What
guys
I love
make?
about the Salvation Army is you reach parents that not everybody else sees or kind of gets down to their level. You get people who just need help and who want to be better parents. And we want to provide them whatever we can to help with that. Again, Parent Q is honestly what I think is the best resource that we have as an app. It's free for anyone to download. It's free to go there. You just put in the name and age of your child and resources pop up for you. ParentQ.org has a lot of blog posts for parents about different age groups. Especially we've been putting stuff up about seniors going through their senior year and the hurt and grief about not having those memories that other people have, how to talk to your kids about the anxiety that this coronavirus is bringing up. We want to make sure that parents kind of have that place to go to, but also that churches have those resources in one spot that they can just send parents to, and that they can kind of give parents those conversation guides.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know our Sunday school teacher has been giving us the parent stuff.
That's awesome.
And so that's really cool. Yeah. Cool. Jackie, tell me, we're still in youth work, but not Orange right now. Tell me why you've remained in youth work. What was there like an aha moment, or it's just kind of something that you've always just wanted to do?
I think honestly it came from frustration, which was pretty funny. I really don't like the term like the children are the future. And, these are talking about your kids in your church saying this is the future of the church.
So you don't like Whitney Houston?
I mean, I'll sing if you want me to. I really don't want to. But the kids in your church are your congregation. They're not the future of your church. They are your church. And a lot of what I saw, and not in the Army, but really in the whole church in general, was kids were kind of put off to the side. Their church was secondary. Their resources were secondary, almost an afterthought at times. But really, this is the best time to have a child have a relationship with Christ, is when they're young, is when we can actually bring them and show them a God who loves and cares for them. And that's where my heart is really at. I don't want a child to go through their life without having that knowledge. I want to get them as young as possible. I want them to know the love of God as young as possible. And youth work is really, I think, the most rewarding thing. Sometimes we're planting seeds we say that we don't see, but I see changes in my middle school girls. I see changes in kids that I see in other ministries and just happen to pass by. I love watching them grow in Christ. And I think that's, again, one of the most rewarding things in ministry. I don't know people who don't want to be in youth ministry. It's pretty fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And even at my age, Jackie, it's still pretty cool.
I don't know. That just seems pretty far off for me, so...
Well, you'll be surprised. Jackie, we really appreciate you. Tell us how we could best work with you. Like if we're giving advice to our youth leaders and they're struggling with Orange, how best to work with you?
I would love for them just to contact me. Email, phone call, on our Facebook page, Thinking Orange and the Salvation Army. You can always ask questions there. I'm the Orange specialist that responds to you. There's also a little spot where you can see my calendar and pick a time that works best for you individually. And I'd love to just set up a time to chat. I want to learn as much as I can about officers and youth leaders. I want to learn about your contacts so I can give the best recommendations possible. Orange can be very overwhelming in the beginning, and the idea is not to use everything. I kind of like to say Orange is like a grocery store. We have a lot of ingredients, but you know your kids best. You know what they like to eat. You can pick the ingredients that make the meal. And I just want to help recommend those things to you, give you some ideas, check back in a few months and say, hey, maybe we can try something new, or maybe we need to try something a little bit different. So I really love to just build relationships as much as possible. And I don't want people to think like coming to me as a last resort. It should be the first. Anytime you have a question, you're not bugging me, you're not bothering me, just contact me.
And I could vouch that she will get back to you pretty quickly. Jackie has always been very efficient in that. Jackie, well, we miss hanging out with you in Southern California here, but we know that you are very happy out there in Atlanta, Georgia, dodging quarantine and tornadoes and all that good stuff.
Actually, all of those things.
Did you have tornado warning
Actually,
this
yeah,
week?
it was a pretty bad storm. It missed my county, thank goodness, but a few other places were hit pretty bad. But normally it's great weather, but every so often.
I was gonna say, the birds are chirping there, so that means it's a good day. Jackie, we really appreciate it, and we'll have all the links that she talked about in the notes, and so that you could click away and get her information or Ben's information, but talk to Jackie. So thanks for being here. And anything that we've talked about in this episode will be linked in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to the Say Network podcast on iTunes or Spotify, or updates on new episodes. Also, don't forget to join us on Facebook every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for Online Youth Night. We will have one firing up tomorrow night. It's a Tuesday, by the way. And tomorrow night, who do we have up? We have Sarah Stilson teaching some emblem work on the Salvation Army, and Barb Higgins from the Central Territory doing a Corps Cadet lesson. You will not forget that one. Kids and parents are invited to watch it together. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Why? Because we don't repeat episodes, so they're always going to be brand new. Thank you, Jackie.